Good day. This is Evelyn Ackah from Ackah Business Immigration Law. I hope you're well. I'm also doing a Facebook Live today with respect to the podcast, Ask Evelyn Ackah, Immigration Lawyer. So we're doing two in one today, and we're looking forward to sharing all information we can about immigration law and about how to get to Canada with your business. At Ackah Business Immigration Law, as you know, we do both corporate immigration, which is the name, Ackah Business Immigration Law, and personal immigration. And I want to talk to you today about those of you who reach out to us on a regular basis with businesses and looking to find ways to move to Canada with your business. So this is really an area of expertise. We'd love to do this. We love working with successful and professional business owners from all over the world. And a large part of what we do is we help them with strategizing around how to come to Canada and how to bring their families to Canada, as well as how to bring their business to Canada. So when we get a call like this, the first thing that happens is we usually do an analysis of learning more about their business. So we need to know how big is your business, how many employees you have, what kind of revenue you have, how long you've been in operation, and what you do, so that we can understand exactly what your business is all about, so that we can advise you on if this is a viable option for you to move to Canada. So that's the first thing. So usually what we do is we do a consult after we do our initial call, but we usually need to deep dive into a 1 hour consultation, which we charge for, so that we can understand everything about your business and that you also will know what it is that we need to be successful for you. So we always want to know, what are you working on? Who your client base is, what's your ideal client, and what your vision is for moving to Canada. Once we do that 1 hour consultation, it helps us figure out really, is this viable? Are you going to be able to come to Canada and have a successful business and grow your business, as well as keeping your business back home in operation? That's obviously what's required. So let's talk about the steps. In order to move an existing business to Canada, or what we call set up a related entity, which would be a branch or subsidiary, we would need to incorporate you in Canada. And so we do this regularly. This is something that we've started doing over the last few years because our clients need the support of who is going to help them incorporate a business and how can they do this as smoothly as possible without any stress. So once we establish that you have a viable business, you have strong revenues, you have employees that are in the home country that will stay behind and continue to run the business, we often look at the option of intercompany transfer. And this is a work permit category you can do from all over the world. It does not need to be as from a specific country. It's not under NAFTA or under General Agreement of Trade and Services or other treaties. It can be from anywhere in the world if you have a viable business. So what we do then is we focus on incorporating you, and we always make sure you have tax advice. This is something I tell everybody. Before immigration starts the process, you must speak with a specialist in tax and accounting, and we have references that we can share with you and give to you so that you can start doing your due diligence and making sure everything is planning, to go well. So once you've done all that and you're ready to start, we then look at how we're going to incorporate your business. And so most people come from different countries. They want to own the business and they want to be the only directors. But as you know, in Canada, you need to have a Canadian director or a permanent resident, usually in most provinces. The 1 or 2 provinces that you don't need to have is in British Columbia. So most of what we do for clients that don't have maybe staff or don't have people that they already trust or family members in Canada is we incorporate them in British Columbia first, because that's one of the few jurisdictions that you do not need to have a local Canadian director. And then once we incorporate, we can always do an extra provincial registration where we can move you and where your business is going to be based. So if you want to be based in Ontario, after we've incorporated you in British Columbia, then we would be able to move you by way of extra provincial registration to be registered in the province where you actually want to do business. So, it's not like we're doing it in British Columbia and you have to stay there. We're doing it so that you don't need to have somebody local from Canada on your board of directors if that's not something that you want. I want to talk about the incorporation process in British Columbia and give you some information. Most provinces, as I mentioned, for incorporation have a minimum Canadian citizen or permanent resident requirement of 25%. And if you don't feel comfortable with that, you don't have to. That's why in British Columbia, you can incorporate as a foreigner. You don't need to have status to incorporate in Canada, in British Columbia. So whether it's a new business or buying an existing business, you can do that in British Columbia. When you have sought out tax advice and accounting advice, we know then how you want to structure the business. Is it going to be a subsidiary? Is it going to be a branch company? And then we have to focus on first, will you be able to use the same name? So we have to do a name search in British Columbia. It's called a nuance search with the corporate registry. Most of our clients are able to keep the names or have small changes to the name, but clearly know that the companies are related. Sometimes the company's name will have to be quite different from what your home country is because it might be very popular and already used quite a bit in the jurisdiction. So the first thing is always the name reservation with the corporate registry in British Columbia. Then we have to do the incorporation agreement, and then we have to prepare and file the articles of incorporation. At Ackah Business Immigration Law, we are helping our clients doing these steps on a regular basis to help them get established. And the reason they're doing this is obviously they want to incorporate, and then they want to transfer executives to Canada under work permits so they can start growing the business and growing it and becoming permanent residents. That's usually the long-term strategy. So one of the things that's interesting about even choosing a name is it has to be distinctive. It can't just be, Lily's Beauty Salon, or, it needs to describe what you're doing. It can't just be Bob. It needs to show, is it a restaurant? What kind of business do they do? Some part of the name has to show elements of what it is you're planning on doing. So sometimes our clients might have a name in another country, but we might put in there consulting or software development or, something that describes what it is they're doing so that it's clear to those that are working or doing the search that this is what the business does. And we have to get the name approval before we can go to the next step of the incorporation process. In terms of shareholders, anybody can be a shareholder. It can be the company from back home. It can be residents of any country. You can be a shareholder as a director, whichever way you want to set it up. And this again is why we start with the corporate client and the corporate tax advice. We need to know that you have already sought out advice, that you're structuring the business in Canada the best way possible and in the most tax efficient way. That's what we want for you. And as I said, we provide services in that respect by referring you to experts that do this exact work. We don't try to be all things to all people. We want to do the best work we do with the things we do incredibly well, which is immigration, Canadian and US immigration law. Okay, and now we're adding incorporation as well to our services and our offerings for our clients so we can help them. Part of the incorporation process will also require you to have an address. And many people say, well, I'm not even there. How can I get an address? The way we usually recommend is use an address. You can get a shared office space like a Regis address and a phone number. You need to be able to indicate where the business will be registered as the registered business of your organization. So a physical address is required in British Columbia. You've got a name, or you can use a numbered company with an operating as. Those are options as well. And we need a phone number, okay? So those are all the requirements usually to do an incorporation. Once the company is all set up, then we're able to focus on how to use the company, which is related to the one that you're operating back home, to use it as a mechanism to move you to Canada under the intercompany transfer. If you're American or Mexican, obviously we've got the NAFTA intercompany transfer. If you're from any other country, we can do just a straight intercompany transfer where we have to show the companies are related and that you have executive, managerial, or specialized knowledge, expertise you're bringing to help grow this new business in Canada. Let's now talk about extra-provincial registration. So we have now incorporated your business. How do you get to the province you want to do business in? That is called extra-provincial registration, and every province allows this. So wherever you choose to operate, if it's not in British Columbia, you will need to register extra-provincially so that you can do business in that province. And at Ackah Business Immigration Law, we help you with that as well. We help you determine the structure of your shares and all the things you need to know. Once the company is incorporated and we are able to get you a work permit to come to Canada, depends on if it's NAFTA, it's faster, it can be done at the border. If it's not and it's consular, it could take 2 to 3 or 4 months to get you and your family members to Canada to start the business. Then this is where you start the process of going to the banks, getting your social insurance number, opening bank accounts personally as well as for the business, and really launching your business plan that you indicated was what you wanted to do here, and actively being engaged in business. We also recommend for our clients who are looking to become permanent residents later on, we recommend that they also consider making sure they're on payroll in Canada. It's really important because you need to be able to show that you've been paying yourself in Canada and on a Canadian payroll and getting a T4, and all those indicators of running a successful business in Canada are going to help you when you're looking to apply for permanent residence under one of the streams in Canada after a year or longer. Okay, so those are things to think about. I hope it's been informative. Just so you know, again, we're always happy to talk to business owners about how to move to Canada, what they need to do to set up a business, and how we can help them to smooth the way to Canada for immigration, for business, for life, for any purpose at all. But especially if you want to talk through the strategy that I've just outlined, give us a call at Ackah Business Immigration Law, 403-452-9515. We look forward to helping you create a legacy in Canada for your business and for your family. Take good care. Bye-bye.